Hey, love lovers. So I just saw something that is interesting this morning, right? It's a video. Basically, it's Jay-Z's attorney with Charlemagne Breakfast Club, right? And he said that, or he reinstated what was already said by the other lawyer, that Jay-Z is not friends with P. Diddy, right? They're not friends. And so here's that video.
And, I don't think they're sort of
see eye to eye on things.
see eye to eye with.
Last question on that.
Diddy.
Do you think he should have
Hold
got
on,
bail?
say that again, please.
I don't think they see eye to eye with P. Diddy.
I just want to throw that out there.
No,
Because,
said it.
remember everybody was saying
That they were best
like,
friends?
when Jay said they weren't
man.
friends, everybody was like, they were in pictures together all the time.
Okay, everyone was in a picture with P. Diddy at one time or another. I went to a party. But when things got real years and years ago,
They didn't see eye to eye.
they,
It's also possible that this is a legal defense tactic, which is also including a publicity management thing, like a PR relations thing, right? So that's possible. That on that note, everything is alleged, by the way, literally from the get-go until we finish. Even the names of these people are alleged. I don't know these people. But we're going to be talking from a Synastry point of view, astrology, and it's for research purposes only. Well, where there's conflict, then that's our channel as well, right? And where there are relationships, that's also our channel. But then, obviously, according to Jay-Z, they are not friends. So therefore, let's see, what the planets say. Let's contact the planets. Let's call the planets and see what they will say regarding their acquaintanceship, right? I've already done a lot of analysis on both bosses, and I've already made some predictions for both. So I'm not going to focus on their progressions today. Today I'm just going to focus on their synastry, on their relationship together, and obviously with the research question of, are they really friends, or they just people that know each other in the same industry, acquaintances, right? So I am obviously getting a response back from the planets, and they have news for us. I am the TMZ now of the Synastry. So I have the news, I have the update. Let's get into the detail right away. Must remind everyone that I did a time rectification regarding Diddy's birth time, because there's none available. So I am using the time that I calculated. This is not my speciality. Time rectification is not my speciality. As you know that in astrology, there's different fields. There are people who do time rectifications or specialists in that. And my specialist is synastry relationships, of course. And then there are other astrologers who are specializing in career, others who are specializing in health and all of those things, right? So due to that, I don't post Diddy's rectified chart publicly. I just use it for my research. But so far, towards predictions, I've gotten the predictions correctly, so I'm quite confident for my research purposes. But I would appreciate a specialist in time rectification to do that, because we're specializing in this industry. You can go to a general doctor and they will tell you, okay, this is happening, but I've checked your eyes, but you need to see a specialist, you need to see an optometrist. So I'm referring you to an optometrist so that they can get a deeper understanding of what's happening with your eyes, right? So when it comes to relationships, you come to me, and when you want to find a specialist for rectifying your chart, your birth time, then you go to somebody who's highly skilled in this part, right? Because sometimes, generalists, they know everything, but they know bits and bits of everything, because they're not focusing on one thing, so they don't spend most of their life focusing on one domain. So they tend to know quite a lot of stuff, but bits and bits here, bits and bits here. And then the specialists, they spend all of their life just studying one subject. Hence, they become specialists in those subjects, right? I can confidently confirm that they're not friends like as people think, they have been friends. They're not like that at all. So I can confirm that part from the Synastry point of view, right? Why is that? Okay, first of all, Jay-Z is a Leo ascendant, remember? And again, I'm using sidereal, to come up with my ascendant, which could be different from the popular astrology, right? So from the Synastry, Diddy comes up as somebody who saw Jay-Z as family. Like he sees him, or he saw him as family. He saw him as somebody who he could talk to, somebody who he could even give money to, fortune to, or help build fortune, right? So there's a high indication here that Diddy helped Jay-Z with some finances at some point, because Diddy's fortune and Venus go into Jay-Z's second house of money, of bank, of family, right? So here, what's happening now is that with this energy, Diddy has been, or it's indicated that he's helped Jay-Z build up, his wealth, his bank account, with this planet. But I'm also looking at it from the ascendant point of view, which unfortunately I can't show here due to what I just explained, right? So really, Diddy saw Jay-Z as, family, as a brother, as a family, or whatever, right? And at the same time, unfortunately, he also comes off from the Synastry as Jay-Z's hidden enemy. Jay-Z's hidden enemy. Those who know astrology, they would understand exactly what I'm saying. So he comes up as Jay-Z's hidden enemy. So a hidden enemy is somebody that, is all nice and jolly to your face, but they will take you down, basically. They will just take you down. You will go down because of this person in the future, right? But at the same time, it's highly indicated here that how can I word this? I'm just going to make a scenario so that we don't include these people's charts directly. But for an example, there would be a scenario whereby, somebody with Jay-Z's ascendant makes, somebody with Diddy's ascendant be isolated, be imprisoned, be hospitalized, right? So according to the Synastry, they have exactly that, whereby, Jay-Z's ascendant like chart would send Diddy's ascendant like chart to prison, isolation, foreign places, or even like offing him and stuff like that. So that would be the scenario if we're reading charts similar to theirs. All right. And okay, so that part is done. What I'm also seeing here is that Diddy has brought some losses, or will bring some losses in terms of connections when it comes to Jay-Z, and would kind of like make enemies rise up against Jay-Z from their network of Hollywood and all of that, right? I'm also seeing lots of scandals coming up from Diddy's side, and of course we've already seen, because Jay-Z has already been implicated to one of Diddy's cases, So definitely that one we've already seen come to life. The scandals, the shame, including sexual related activities, because the eighth house of the eighth house energy, is affecting Jay-Z's ascendant. All right. So I'm also seeing that when it comes to the big planets, they are born both in 1969, so they're gonna have these big planets conjunct together, Chiron to Chiron, Saturn to Saturn, all of those things except Jupiter. And with these Saturns, Jay-Z has got his Saturn retrograde, whereas Diddy's Saturn is direct, so it's not impacted here. Now, when I look at Diddy's chart now, I see that there would be litigation or litigation types of vibes that come up from Jay-Z's type of chart, right? So somebody with a chart like Jay-Z would bring litigation or litigation-like vibes against somebody who's got a chart like Diddy's, right? I also see here that Jay-Z places his Ketu in the second house of Diddy, meaning that there would be some losses in terms of finance or financial status or wealth, from the Diddy side because of Jay-Z's chart or Ketu, right? Everything is alleged, it's only for research purposes. Only, we are talking about planets or what the planets are indicating through the charts, right? I also see that Jay-Z would have impacted or influenced the profession and status of Diddy, and it would have been impacted in the most beautiful way, right? Like increased it. So meaning that as long as Diddy was attached to Jay-Z publicly, the public was always able to accept him, right? So there was this influence, whereas him, Diddy, he had influenced, the increment of Jay-Z's bank, Jay-Z's money, right? So let's go deeper. Let's have a break. Basically, a Leo ascendant would influence or would cause somebody with Diddy's chart, like a similar chart, to go to prison, okay? But somebody with a chart like Diddy's would be a hidden enemy regardless, against a Leo ascendant like Jay-Z has, right? So, this means that lots of underground mistrust, like not trusting each other, lots of underground of kind of like watching your steps very closely, like kind of like knowing, because remember Jay-Z also has Ketu on his ascendant, meaning that he's highly intuitive, like he's very highly intuitive, like he's a person who would know what you're thinking or what you're gonna do before you even know what you're gonna do. So meaning that even though Diddy's chart is indicating him as a hidden enemy, there are things that would be revealed to Jay-Z intuitively due to his Ketu. He would know spiritually that this person is right here in my face, but behind my back I need to watch my step, type of a vibe, right? But also kind of like placing this person into isolation. You know, I have to have some breaks to have some water because my voice just leaves. But anyway, to make a summary just out of what I just said now, because I have to be careful with my wording because these people are in trouble right now. And there's too much legalities, too much media, too much all of that, right? So we don't want to cause a frenzy here. Basically, Diddy's chart is indicating that, you know, he would be capable to turn some of Jay-Z's friends or their common friends against Jay-Z and, you know, cause some losses and some loss of gain for him, loss of profit for him. So maybe he would do it in the future, or he's already done it. Nobody knows, right? But that's what the chart is saying. Again, everything is alleged, you know, planets, you know, I just talking here, showing stuff. The charts also indicate that Jay-Z would send some of Diddy's friends or acquaintances to isolation as well, right? So there's two underlying battles here. There's like the frontal, whereby in your face, in terms of appearance wise, right? Then Diddy would consider Jay-Z as his family, as his brother, you know, help him build his wealth, you know, build his family up, you know, help him and his family as well, not just him, right? And but you know, the back, you know, he's like playing the hidden enemy thing. And then from Jay's chart, then he would play the legalities, you know, behind this guy's back, right? But it's also shown here that Jay-Z would have considered Diddy as his competitor at some point, or even just in general. He would have considered, he would have seen Diddy as his competitor, as his number one competitor. And they have a conjunction of their Mars. So meaning that, you know, when they are passionate towards each other, then they're passionate, and when they are fighting, then it's just a war. It's like full out war, full out I'm gonna get you, full out I'm gonna get you too type of a vibe, right? Because that's what Mars is about. When things are good, things are very good, and when things are bad, then they just go horrible, they go down in the deepest of the hell, where the battles get to be sorted out, right? And all the methods are taken out and applied directly and effectively, right? Because they have a conjunction of their Saturn, of course it shows that they've worked together, because Saturn is profession, Saturn is work, Saturn is Dharma. So it's showing that they've had some, you know, profession or objectives, you know, stuff like that. But at the same time, because Jay-Z's Saturn is retrograde, so it means that he would have been also not just, you know, connected because he liked, you know, Diddy's work or whatever. He would have, you know, worked with him because he wanted to build his wealth, because it's facing the 8th house of shared resources, rather, you know, spousal resources and inheritances, of course, right? It's interesting because Diddy's moon makes a conjunction with Jay-Z's ascendant. So it means that there's some nourishment that he was giving to Jay-Z, as it could have been through resources, or it could have been literally helping him with things relating to children or his children, like Jay-Z's children. So there's some nurturing that has been given by Diddy to Jay-Z. You know, as I said, it could have been, you know, helping him regarding a subject of children, or even maybe looking for a home, a house, you know, helping him choose a home, a house, or stuff like that, right? But their moons are making a semi-sextile, which is highly indicating a totally different mentality, they had different mentality, and at the same time they had different motives, right? In their sextile, Jay-Z was benefiting more than Diddy from their acquaintanceship, right? And remember, Moon relates to resources, children, as I said, stuff like this, money, travel as well. So through this partnership, these things would have been opened up for Jay-Z to benefit, right? And then Diddy would have invested such things and his emotions as well towards Jay-Z, and he would have lost most of the things, right, trying to invest in their emotional compatibility or incompatibility in this case, right? Because they have a sextile of their fortune, so they had this big idea of they're gonna grow their wealth. So their friendship is based basically on growing wealth. Okay, they're not friends. Jesus said they're not friends. So their acquaintanceship was based on growing wealth, right? Particularly for Jay-Z, as since Diddy wanted to also kind of like see him as family and all of those things at the same time, right? So Diddy was more emotionally involved in their acquaintanceship than Jay-Z was. So here there's some information that would be revealed by either party, right, to the law, to the court system, the justice system, and the authorities, because Jay-Z's Saturn is opposite Diddy's Sun and Mercury. So meaning that, and in both charts, these are also aspecting the 10th house and the 9th house of authorities of the court justice system. So basically, because this is Diddy's Mercury, and it's actually at the point for both of them of this age of 55 years old, around 55, where they have some progressing planets in this age happening with these legalities. So it's because this is Diddy's Sun, and Mercury, so there would be some information that Diddy gives to authorities regarding businesses or work or profession of Jay-Z, because it's his Saturn that is against Sun and Mercury. And then as the ages go, or even before this age, then it would have been it would have given Jay-Z also the standing. But I didn't calculate, because actually I didn't think about calculating as to how much likely he would have spoken, right? But for this age, Diddy for sure would say some stuff and reveal some stuff, allegedly, of course. But these things would start to be at the peak around December or close to December, going into next year, because then the status and the profession of Jay-Z is going to be directly affected by his own progressing Mars at this time. So basically, from this Synastry, they are both highly likely to take each other down and take each other to behind the bars. I mean, isolation, or even like behind this earth. They are capable of doing that according to the Synastry. And therefore, because there's lots of semi-sextiles and in conjunctions, and that explosive Mars conjunction that they have with their Saturn, one of is retrograde, and the semi-sextiles of their moons, and the underlying legalities theme coming up, 8th house, shame, transformation coming up. Woo. To show more that they really were based on building wealth, like their acquaintanceship was based merely on building wealth, you can see that and having fun as well, because they have a sextile of their Venuses. So Venus with Venus, they want to have fun, they want to have as much pleasure as is possible, they want to build wealth, have money, have access to luxuries, right? So that aspect of their fortunes and Venus, it was basically materialistic. Their connection was basically just materialistic. So that was the goal of their connection, to build wealth and materials. But mostly from the view of JC, because from the view of Diddy, Diddy wanted to have an emotional connection, a deep emotional connection, not just to build materials. Yes, he was down for that, but he also wanted to have a connection, like an emotional connection with him, which he would never have gotten because of that semi-sextiles of their moon. So yeah. By the way, the Dragon Astro Yoga book, which I wrote to help you heal and to have closure, is available on Amazon right now, and soon in the stores close to you, right? But for now, it's available on Amazon. It's a self-help book. You will have to write some stuff and get to know yourself and really move on astrologically. Get it on Amazon now. I mean, gosh, we could just talk for hours here just on their Synastry. There are so many things that I'm saying, but I really don't want to be that long, so let's leave it here for now and say a bientôt. Ciao ciao.